Okay, so Chelsea won, Barnsley nil. Uh, it wasn't a great match. I thought Barnsley they played really well. Chelsea did not, and Barnsley were just lacking that bit of quality that most championship sides lack, and that's really what made the difference in the end. So the teams were in goals, Kepa. The three centre backs were Emerson, Zuma, and Christensen. Wing backs were Alonso and Hudson Odoi. The midfield were Gilmore and Kante. The front three was Pulisic, Tammy, and Ziyech. For Barnsley, it was Bradley Collins in goals. Toby Sibic, Michael Halick, Joel Anderson. The wing backs were Britton and Styles. The midfield were Kane and Movat. The front three were Woodrow, Chaplin, and Adebayo. So, okay, so I'm gonna start talking about Barnsley first because I think they kind of deserve more credit than Chelsea do, even though Chelsea won the game. I thought Barnsley played really well. They had a very good start to the game. I thought Chelsea didn't start well at all. Like they were very sloppy and they kind of underestimated Barnsley. I think some players were not up to it. Um, they had a good chance in the first half, and Kepa made a good save. It was kind of right at him though, but their pressing was very high, which made Chelsea have to they didn't really have control of the ball that much. They had more chances. They had four on target, and Chelsea only had one on target, which was the goal. And that just shows how well Barnsley played and kind of how badly Chelsea played, but it kind of just showed how much quality Chelsea has as well. Uh, so the goal was in the second half. James came on instead of Alonso. So Kante took up the ball he stuck a foot in and got the ball, and then Gilmore passed it through, and James through and uh, passed it across, and Tammy was there for the tap in, and it was onside. It was very tight, but it was onside because the ball was ahead of Tammy. So it was a very good goal, which we were just really lacking in the whole game except for that moment, like that bit of quality. Um, so Tammy, obviously, he was our best player today. I thought obviously the goal, his work rate, and he was kind of the only player, and I could say Hudson and Odoi were like the only really two players that kind of they really tried hard. Like the other players, they were kind of like sluggish, giving the ball away, and they were kind of Tammy and Hudson Odoi. They were quick and they were decisive, and they obviously respected Barnsley more than other players did. But Tammy, he obviously got the goal, but also he got a goal line clearance. Barnsley had a free kick, and Kepa punched it away, and it came to a player, and he kind of flicked it over Kepa, and Tammy was there to flick it over the bar. So he was involved in both ends of the goals. Um, but he played really well. So Chelsea got tied with Sheffield United in the quarterfinal, which if we play like we did against Barnsley, which I really hope we won't, we will lose that game. I think they play very similarly. Like we played them on Sunday, so it's gonna be a tough game. But I think Chelsea will win. So anyway, 1-0 against Barnsley. At least we got the win. At least it was in the 90 minutes, but wasn't a good enough performance. And against Southampton on Monday, they're really gonna have to be better. But I think we will, because I think Warner, he kind of brings the energy to the squad as well up front, because I think that's where we're lacking in that midfield behind Tammy, because Ziyech, he was sluggish, he was slow, he wasn't really good at all, and Pulisic was awful as well. So I think Mount and Werner are those two players that kind of really help the midfield and the attacking play as well. So anyway, good win. Yeah.